The Baha Mar winding up adjourned once more. The FNM's deputy says there's no infighting in the party. Former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet says he's open to running for FNM leadership. Plus, registration for the new NID Smart Card could be going better. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MB12 starts right now. Helping news tonight, attorneys representing stakeholders in the ongoing Baha Mar matter were back in court today after 2 months of discussions. But as you'll hear in this report from Kyle Joaquin, the matter has been adjourned yet again, this time for 3 more months as the stalled project sits along the Cable Beach Strip incomplete and unoccupied.
I think we need to recognize that, we're dealing with a different Eastern system versus a Western system. And we need to realize that under the Chinese system, there are a number of approval steps that one has to go through before final decisions are made. And so, everyone is energized. We're continually talking to the bank. And, we're happy about where we are now.
Raymond Winder, the representative for China Exim Bank, the receivers of the stalled multi-billion-dollar Baha Mar project, explained to NB12 the mindset of the receivers as the Baha Mar court matter continues to drag on. The adjournment came at the request of government's attorney Lauren Klein, who said perhaps they were overambitious when they thought the previous 2 months were sufficient to resolve the issues and get construction resumed at Baha Mar. And then there's Baha Mar's conference center. Despite the resort not being complete and ready to open, there are plans to host an IDB conference in this building come April. Klein also shared his intent to file an affidavit from Antoinette Barnaby, the Director of Legal Affairs. In it, Barnaby said that since the last adjournment, there has been an agreement for the use of the convention center and that there have been discussions with China Construction America to remobilize construction. Prime Minister Perry Christie has repeatedly expressed optimism in at least the convention center being complete to host an IDB conference in April. Raymond Winder weighed in on that as well, specifically on talks of construction resuming.
That's going fine. Now we getting the contracts together. We're speaking with the various subcontractors that are going to perform the work, and so we're looking to get that started quickly because the government is planning on utilizing those facilities in April, and so we want to make sure those facilities are ready.
But according to Winder, they are still uncertain as to when the convention center would be complete.
It's like everything else in life. They tell you it's close, and then when you try to look at all the little things that needs to be done, then you go ahead, you realize that it takes a little bit longer than necessary.
Baha Mar is said to be 97% complete, and Klein said he thinks the government has seen positive signs on the 3% outstanding. We also caught up with Alfred Sears, who represents the Joint Provisional Liquidators.
All of the parties who appeared agreed on a common position. That is that there ought to be an adjournment for a period of 3 months. During which it was represented by Mr. Klein on behalf of the government, some of the petitioners, that there were positive developments with respect to the remobilization of the project.
Again, the matter has been adjourned to May 2nd. Reporting from Baha Mar for NB12. Kyle Joaquin.
Following a demand by several FNM MPs for Senator Lanisha Roll to apologize for what's been called her unprovoked and unprofessional attack, the party's deputy leader today downplayed reports of infighting within the FNM and said there are no issues within the party that are insurmountable. He charged that some people are making a mountain out of a molehill. Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham also commenting on the state of affairs in the FNM, expressing his disappointment. He said he hopes the party can get itself together.
There are too many things going on in this country for us to be concerned about matters that really, at the end of the day, do not affect the lives of Bahamians. They may be nice headlines for various publications, but they do not advance the cause of Bahamian people one iota. And so as far as we're concerned, and I'm sure the former Prime Minister shares the view, that we really, as a party, need to focus on what we are here to do, the people that we represent, and the bigger picture of what's happening to ordinary Bahamians under this current government.
A total of 5 F&M MPs have now called for Senator Roll to publicly apologize after she accused some F&M MPs of being jealous of opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis. In a statement, the MPs said Roll's comments were unbecoming of someone in her position, and if she refuses to apologize, Minnis must demand it. Well, Turnquest maintained there's no infighting in the party, only disagreements, and there are no differences within the F&M that it cannot get past.
I wouldn't call it infighting. We have disagreements. We see things from a different point of view. And, you know, in any mature set of people will have differing points of view. What we have to demonstrate to the Bahamian people is that we are mature enough to work through those differences and at the end of the day come to a consensus or an understanding of how we're going to deal with it. But there is questions of differences of opinion that come to the surface. Obviously, we have some concerns. But I don't believe that there's any matter that has been raised thus far that is insurmountable, that we cannot get past.
Turnquest said the issue is an internal matter, which Minnis addressed in a statement last week. Minnis had said the F&M does not support any criticisms from anyone that would damage the reputation of its parliamentarians or senior party members. Turnquest said he stands by that statement.
Leader of the party has issued a statement from the National Council indicating that this matter has been addressed, that the senator has addressed her colleagues with respect to it, and as far as we're concerned, we're moving on from that. And so really, truly, you know, we don't have much more to say. I mean, it is a matter that is being dealt with internally, and, you know, like any family, we will come together.
In an interview with the Nassau Guardian's National Review, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram expressed disappointment that the infighting within the party continues to spill into the public domain.
Well, it certainly is my hope the F&M would learn to keep his business out of the street, and that the F&M would recognize the leadership of the F&M would recognize the F&M as a party is a movement, as opposed to a party, is a movement comprising large numbers of people who moved into the party, some of whom get annoyed very quickly and they move out, or they refuse to vote in the election, or they vote for somebody else to spite other people, etc. So one has to manage the F&M very gingerly to ensure you have a cohesive political force.
When asked whether he is pleased with Minnis's leadership, Ingram said it's the Bahamian people who have to be pleased, and as the constitutionally elected leader of the F&M, Minnis has his support. He added while he will not be returning to frontline politics, he is willing to help the party win back the government.
Well, it is my hope that the F&M can get itself together and win the next election. It's my hope that I would be in a position to give them whatever support I can in that regard.
Amid the talk of a looming F&M convention and who might be the leadership contenders, former Deputy Prime Minister Brent Simonet revealed that he is open to running for a leadership role in the Free National Movement. However, while stressing that he fully supports party leader Dr. Hubert Minnis, Simonet says he's only interested in the betterment of the country, adding that the Christie administration is in free fall. Simone Davis reports.
The former Deputy Prime Minister said the betterment of the country would be achieved by returning to an F&M government in the next general election, and if that requires his return to a leadership position in the party, then so be it. However, Simonet made it clear that he has made no decisions as to what role he's interested in and would announce it when and if the time comes.
Way forward for the Bahamas, in my opinion, others may wish to disagree, would be to elect an F&M government. They will do whatever is necessary for the betterment of the party in leadership. That does not mean leader.
As for the convention, Simonet asserted that he would much rather it take place before November. He also mentioned that the PLP, who hasn't had a convention in many years, postponed their convention because they have their own issues. During an interview with the Nassau Guardian's National Review over the weekend, he suggested that Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis is snipping at Christie's heels, while members of the Christie administration are fighting to see who would succeed the Prime Minister.
I think what the PLP are doing is they're being more successful about masking it. One only has to look. Mr. Christie is at an age in his life. He has said he was going to retire. The last election, I think, he was going to go 2.5 years in and then change over. He didn't. Now, is he going to say the same thing this year and 2.5 years later, which is 5 years from now, which means he'll be 5 years older? So I think they're just waiting their time. They know, the PLP know, that they cannot win without Mr. Christie.
Davis responded to those comments in another interview with National Review and denied those claims. Simonet said Davis can deny it all he wants. Simonet claims it's still the truth.
He can deny it as much as he likes. But I mean, only a few months ago there was a question of whether he was running for leadership. I mean, it was all over the newspaper. Yep, and he was very coy when he was asked. He never denied it. He never denied it. So therefore he can say what he likes to National Review on Sunday after I make a comment. I still stand beside. A number of them want that post, but they realize they have to do something else before they raise their ugly heads to try and take that post over. So
Simonet said he believes the FNM's focus needs to be highlighting what he views as failed governance. And referring to the recent infighting in the FNM, the former Deputy Prime Minister said a lot of what's happening with the party is being hyped by the press, and the view that he and others in the Ingram cabinet never voiced any opposition to Hubert Ingram is simply unfounded. He said the difference now is that criticisms or concerns about the current leadership and the state of the party are being voiced in public, but he is confident that the internal issues would soon come to an end under Minnis's leadership.
The continued fighting or infighting is not healthy in any organization. Do I think it'll continue? No. The FNM has been at this post before. We've had elections, we've had a convention, we've come out of a convention, we've gone on and won an election. So that doesn't worry me at all. I think the FNM can prove to the voting public that they are the next government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. And that's all that really matters.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.